Neither Mourinho's Chelsea wall, nor Ferguson's Manchester United powerhouse, nor Arsène Wenger's hungry Arsenal, not even Pep Guardiola's Manchester City could stop him. Because every time Messi set foot in England or faced its giants in Europe, football trembled. He was the small kid who challenged defenders twice his size and turned Premier League titans into his favourite victims. Chelsea, Arsenal, United, City, Tottenham and Liverpool, all of them suffered. All of them felt it. This is the story of how Lionel Andrés Messi, La Pulga, tore apart the English giants in the Champions League. Let's begin. English football has always considered itself the cradle of the game. Physical power, legendary stadiums, and teams with limitless budgets. But not even all the Premier League's tradition could handle the talent of a boy born in Rosario. From his debut in 2006 against Chelsea to his stunning goal in Paris against Manchester City, Messi wrote chapter after chapter against English giants. And today we're going to relive them all, one by one, in chronological order. Buckle up, legends, because this journey is pure history. Chelsea 2006, the dream debut and the painful wound. Barcelona arrived at the 2005-2006 Champions League round of 16 as a title favourite, with Ronaldinho at the peak of his powers and a young Lionel Messi beginning to earn a spot in Frank Rijkaard's starting 11. The opponent, Jose Mourinho's Chelsea, Premier League champions, a physical, intense team with a style that clashed head-on with Barca's magic. At Stamford Bridge, Messi began to show the world what he was made of. Just 18 years old, he took on defenders who doubled him in strength and experience without fear. The connection with Ronaldinho was pure poetry. Quick 1-2s, impossible dribbles, and diagonal runs that shattered defensive lines. He also linked up with Iniesta, who was already becoming the ideal partner to bring clarity to the game. But English toughness made itself felt. Azir del Horno caught him with a brutal foul that left Messi injured. In the return leg at the Camp Nou, Lionel could only play 25 minutes. That action in London sidelined him not only for the rest of the tie, but also for the final in Paris, where Barca would be crowned European champions against Arsenal. It was a brilliant and cruel debut at the same time. Messi gave us flashes of a genius in the making, but also tears. England welcomed him with blows and scars, and without realizing it, the story of a rivalry that would define an entire era had begun. The following season, fate brought Barca and Chelsea together again in the group stage. Mourinho was still in charge of the English side, now with strong reinforcements. But Messi was no longer the timid teenager making his debut. He was now an undisputed starter, more confident, with his eyes set on becoming a global star. At Stamford Bridge, despite the loss, Messi shined once again. The ease with which he took on English defenders made him a constant headache, a player impossible to stop without fouling. The English media had already begun to label him the new Argentine nightmare. At the Camp Nou, Messi put on a show. He tore down the right flank, attacked Ashley Cole without fear, and drove John Terry and Carvalho crazy. He was fast, electric, with a left foot that carried more and more weight every game. Although the matches were tight, Messi left the clear impression that Barca had a player who was already making a difference against the toughest opponents in Europe. 1 year earlier, England had left him in tears. This time, they looked at him with fear. Messi was no longer the promise, he was the threat. The English giants understood that the boy from Rosario did not give up. On the contrary, every blow only made him stronger. Liverpool, 2007, round of 16. Barcelona reached the round of 16 as the reigning European champions. Standing in their way was a ruthless Liverpool side led by Rafa Benitez, with Gerrard, Carragher and Xabi Alonso. It was a clash of styles. Barca's quality versus English discipline and grit. In the first leg at the Camp Nou, Messi was no longer the shy kid from the year before. He took on Riza, Agger, or any defender who stood in front of him. At 19, he played like he was 30, bursting forward with almost insulting confidence. Still, Barca fell 1-2, victims of defensive mistakes and English solidity. In the return leg at Anfield, Messi was Barcelona's most dangerous player. Every time he touched the ball, the stadium held its breath. He drifted between the lines, demanded the ball, and drew fouls near the box. Barca won 0-1 with a goal from Good Johnson, but the aggregate ended 2-2, and because of the cursed away goal, the defending champions were eliminated. Messi was still a kid, but he already played like a veteran. That day, Anfield looked at him with respect. They didn't beat him, they beat Barcelona. England understood that every year it would be harder to stop La Pulga. Manchester United 2008, the first battle against Cristiano. In 2008 came one of the most anticipated matchups, young Messi versus Cristiano Ronaldo in the Champions League semi-finals. Ferguson's United were a machine. Cristiano, Rooney, Tevez, Scholes. Across from them, a Barcelona in transition, an inconsistent team that lived off Leo's moments of brilliance. In the first leg at the Camp Nou, Messi was a nightmare down the right flank. With his speed and dribbling, he tore apart Evra and Ferdinand, forcing United to sit back. Cristiano even missed a penalty in the opening minutes, and the match ended 0-0. It was a thrilling duel, where La Pulga made it clear he could go toe-to-toe with CR7. The return leg at Old Trafford was hell. United came out determined, and Paul Scholes, with a rocket from outside the box, scored the only goal of the tie. Barca tried everything, and Messi was the one who pushed the hardest, but they ran into an impenetrable Van der Sar and a defense that held firm until the end. That day, a rivalry was born that would define a decade. Cristiano moved on to the final, Messi was left behind. It was La Pulga's first great wound against England, but also the spark of a rivalry that would take football to the highest level. And here I want to read you in the comments, legends. Do you think Messi deserved to win more Champions League titles? Leave it below, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Chelsea 2009, the controversial semi-final. Guardiola's Barcelona were living through their first great season with a revolutionary style, total possession, high pressing, and a Messi who was no longer a promise, but the star who decided matches. Across from them, once again, Chelsea, with Drogba, Lampard, and Ballack ready to ruin Barca's dream. In the first leg at the Camp Nou, the match was a wall. Chelsea sat deep, defended with everything they had, and Barca crashed into them over and over again. Messi tried to break lines, looked for Eto'o and Henry, but the scoreboard didn't move, 0-0. The English side claimed penalties in that first leg, the CULÉS did too, and the feeling of controversy was already in the air. In the return leg at Stamford Bridge, the storm arrived. Chelsea took the lead with a stunning strike from Essien, and then appealed for as many as 3 penalties that the referee did not award. Every time Drogba went down in the box, the stadium roared, but the whistle never blew. Time was running out, and it looked like Barca were heading out. Until, in the 92nd minute, Messi received the ball at the edge of the box, lifted his head, and under English pressure slipped a pass to Iniesta. The man from La Mancha placed it into the top corner, silencing London. The 1-1 draw sent Barca to the final on away goals. Drogba exploded in rage, shouting, "This is a disgrace" at the cameras. History had been written. And in the final in Rome, destiny brought Barca together once again with Cristiano's Manchester United. Many expected a balanced battle, but it was a Blaugrana exhibition. Eto'o opened the scoring from an Iniesta assist, and Messi, against all odds, sealed the 2-0 with an impossible header. A 5'7" player rising among giants like Ferdinand and beating Van der Sar. It was Barca's 3rd Champions League title, and the exact moment when Messi stopped being a promise and became the best player in the world. From afar, Cristiano watched as La Pulga took the Champions League away from him without being able to do anything. Against Chelsea, Messi delivered the most important assist of that season. And in Rome, with an impossible header, he crowned Barca champions. That year, the myth of the greatest team in history was born, with the best player on the planet as its standard bearer. Arsenal 2010, the Camp Nou poker. In the 2009-2010 quarter-finals, Barcelona were drawn against Wenger's Arsenal. It was a clash of similar styles, passing, possession, and attacking football. But there was one big difference. They had Messi. In the first leg at the Emirates Stadium, Arsenal held on thanks to their goalkeeper Almunia, who made miraculous saves to stop number 10. Messi spread magic, provided assists, and made the English defence tremble. Barca went ahead with 2 goals from Ibrahimovic, but in the end, Arsenal pulled it back to 2-2 with Fabregas leading the way. It was a warning of what was to come. The return leg at the Camp Nou was one of the most magical nights of Leo Messi's career. Arsenal took the lead with a goal from Bentner, but from that moment on, the Camp Nou witnessed a historic recital. Messi caught fire, and in just 21 minutes he scored 3 goals. A left-footed strike from outside the box, a right-footed rocket, and an exquisite chipped finish. In the second half, he completed his poker with another goal to seal the 4-1 win. That night, Messi was unstoppable. Fans rose from their seats with every touch, with every dribble. Arsène Wenger, in the press conference, could only surrender. Messi is a PlayStation player. Against Arsenal, Messi wrote one of his most glorious chapters: 4 goals in a single night. The Camp Nou vibrated with the certainty that it was witnessing something unrepeatable. England once again fell to its knees before La Pulga. Arsenal 2011 and the Wembley final. History repeated itself. Arsène Wenger's Arsenal once again crossed paths with Messi and Barcelona. The English side already knew what it meant to face Leo. But even so, there was no way to stop him. In the first leg in London, Barca came out to dominate from the opening minute. Messi drifted between the lines with that unique ease, slicing through the defense with vertical passes. In one of those moves, he slipped a magical ball through to David Villa, who finished for 0-1. However, Arsenal held on, and in the final minutes turned it around to win 2-1 with goals from Van Persie and Arshavin. The Emirates celebrated, but they knew the return leg at the Camp Nou was still to come. In the second leg in Barcelona, Arsenal sat deep, but the English wall broke early. Messi received a pass from Iniesta, controlled it, and with spectacular composure, chipped it over Almunia, a stunning goal. He then completed the job with another strike, and Barca won 3-1. Once again, the Argentine executioner knocked the Gunners out. That qualification sent Barca to the Wembley final against Manchester United, where perhaps the greatest masterpiece of the Guardiola era was delivered. The Blaugrana side tore United apart with football from another galaxy. Pedro opened the scoring, Rooney equalised, but then Messi, with a hellish strike from outside the box, destroyed Ferguson's team. David Villa scored the definitive 3-1. When the match ended, the entire world recognised that Barcelona as the greatest team in history. At Wembley, Messi was crowned King of the World. Against United, against England, Leo didn't just win, he dominated. That final was the confirmation. We were witnessing the greatest footballer of all time, on the greatest team of all time. Manchester City 2014 and 2015. Total spectacle. Fate had Messi and Barca face Manuel Pellegrini's Manchester City in the Champions League round of 16 2 years in a row. It marked the birth of a modern rivalry, where Leo made it clear who ruled Europe. 2014. The first time against the citizens. In the first leg at the Etihad Stadium, Messi. In the return leg at the Camp Nou, another exhibition from Leo. He scored with a left-footed strike in the 67th minute, and Dani Alves once again wrapped up the 2-1 win. Messi's football was a spectacle, impossible dribbles, bursts of pace, and that ability to break lines with a single touch. Barca won and advanced to the quarter-finals. City had already learned what it meant to face the Argentine. And a year later, the script repeated itself. In the first leg, Barca won 1-2 with a brace from Luis Suarez. Messi had the chance to seal it from the penalty spot, but Joe Hart guessed right and saved it. It was strange to see him miss in a moment like that, but the revenge came in the return leg. At the Camp Nou, Leo played one of his most complete Champions League matches. Electric dribbles, nutmegs, moves that lifted the crowd, and impossible passes. The display was so overwhelming that even Pep Guardiola, watching from the stands, applauded in disbelief at what he was seeing. Barca won 1-0 with a goal from Rakitic, but everyone knew the true star of the show had been Messi, the absolute owner of the spectacle. City arrived as the new rich club of English football, with millions and stars, but against Messi, they became apprentices. In 2015, Guardiola watched from the stands and understood the monster he had helped build was still unstoppable. Arsenal 2016. The executioner returns. Arsenal already knew Messi all too well. They had suffered him in 2010 with an unforgettable 4-goal performance, and again in 2011 with another elimination. But in 2016, when the draw brought them together once more, history repeated itself. La Pulga was their executioner again. First leg at the Emirates Stadium. The match was tight until Messi appeared late on. On a lethal counter-attack, Neymar assisted him, and Leo finished with almost insulting calm in front of Petr Cech. Minutes later, he won a penalty that he converted himself. A double blow, 0-2, and Arsenal were almost finished. Second leg at the Camp Nou. Barca gave them no chance. Neymar opened the scoring. Messi made it 2-0 with a subtle touch after a defensive mistake, and Suarez sealed the third with a spectacular volley. Arsenal pulled one back, but the aggregate ended 5-1. Another year, another wound. Arsenal were the perfect opponent for Messi to unleash his magic. Every meeting with the Gunners was a nightmare for the London side. In 2016, the executioner returned to remind them there was no escape. Against Messi, there was no salvation. Manchester City 2017-2018, the hat-trick against Pep City. Fate reunited Messi with his mentor, Pep Guardiola, this time as rivals in the Champions League group stage. The Camp Nou was ready to witness the clash between the eternal pupil and the coach who had taken him to the top. In the first match in Barcelona, Messi erased any doubt about who the king was. He scored a devastating hat-trick, each goal with a different signature: precision, power, and cold-blooded finishing. And as if that weren't enough, he provided an assist to Neymar to seal the 4-0. Guardiola, powerless on the touchline, could only applaud the spectacle from his former player. In the return leg at the Etihad Stadium, City showed their growth and won 3-1. But even there, Messi left his mark with a goal that looked like his classic self, driving forward from deep, breaking lines, and finishing with quality. Although Barca lost, the message was clear: City could win a match, but Messi was still their nightmare. Messi faced Guardiola, City, money, and the future. And even so, with a simple hat-trick, he reminded the world that he was the present. The Etihad suffered him. The Camp Nou celebrated him. La Pulga was once again the master of the board. Manchester United 2019 and the Liverpool drama. 2019 was a year of contrasts for Messi in the Champions League. A roller coaster of glory and tragedy, of unforgettable performances and eternal pain. Quarter-finals against Manchester United. The first obstacle was United, back in the quarter-finals after difficult years. In the first leg at Old Trafford, Barca earned a 0-1 win thanks to an own goal, but the feeling was clear: Messi ruled at the theatre of dreams. In the return leg at the Camp Nou, Leo delivered one of those performances that stay etched forever. He scored a brace. First, with an individual play where he pressed, won the ball, cut inside, and fired a left-footed shot that fooled De Gea. Then, with another left-footed strike from outside the box that slipped under the Spanish keeper's body, Coutinho made it 3-0. But the name of the night was Messi. Barca were into the semi-finals, and it felt like this might finally be the year of the long-awaited Champions League. Semi-finals against Liverpool. At the Camp Nou, Barca played one of their best European matches in recent years. Suarez opened the scoring from a Jordi Alba assist, but the show came in the second half. Messi tapped in a rebound for 2-0 and then scored one of the most memorable goals of his entire career. A free kick from more than 30 meters out that flew like a missile into Alisson's top corner. The stadium exploded. Barca won 3-0 and seemed to have the final in their pocket. But in the return leg at Anfield, the nightmare arrived. Liverpool, in a hellish atmosphere, completed a historic comeback with a 4-0 win. Alexander-Arnold's quick corner to Origi became the symbol of the catastrophe. Messi tried everything. He ran, assisted, searched, but the team collapsed. That night marked one of the most painful wounds of Leo's Champions League career. In 2019, Messi touched the sky against United and Liverpool at the Camp Nou. But at Anfield, he met hell. From glory to pain, from the impossible goal to the cruelest silence. It was proof that even football gods suffer tragedies. PSG versus Manchester City, 2021. The final chapter of the story against the English giants had a new episode, this time in a different jersey. After a lifetime at Barcelona, Messi made his Champions League debut with PSG. And fate decided that once again, standing across from him would be Manchester City, now Guardiola's monster. In the group stage, the Parc des Princes witnessed his first goal with the Parisians. Messi carried the ball down the flank, Mbappe received it and laid it back, and Messi, with a lethal left-footed strike, smashed it into the top corner. It was a stunning goal, a mix of rage and release, celebrated with euphoria alongside his new fans. That goal not only marked his first with PSG, but it was also a message. Even away from Barcelona, Messi was still the executioner of the English giants. In a different jersey, in another stadium, with different teammates. But the story was the same. Messi punishing City. His first goal in Paris was a masterpiece, a shout to the world that the legend was still alive. It was a journey through La Pulga's epic moments against the biggest teams in the Premier League. From the kid who debuted against Mourinho to the established star who kept scoring even with PSG. No English giant escaped his magic. And in the next video, we'll talk about how Barcelona betrayed their greatest player. Do you want me to bring it? Leave it in the comments, give us a like, and subscribe to Barca Cracks. Because here, the legend of Messi never dies.